All right, well, thank you and welcome, and thank you all for coming to the grand opening of our Self-Help Center and Law Library. I want to acknowledge a few special people in the crowd. I think everybody pretty much knows everyone, but there are some vintage people here like Durand Adams. He's many people born after 1985 do not know who he is, but he's one of our former senior judges, so we're glad that he's here. He's no longer a senior judge. In fact, I don't even think he's a member of the bar. I also want to acknowledge Manatee Educational Television and Charles Clapsaddle for filming this event. Thank you so much, Charles, for being here, and all of the people who have made this possible. So I hope the dedication of this clinic conveys to the public and to all of us that the court system is really dedicated to being user-friendly. And we're here to help navigate litigants through this sometimes very rocky and rough waters that they have to go through. So we hope that this is a first step towards that. But before we actually have the official unveiling and dedication, I want to thank and acknowledge some individuals and their organizations. First of all, Walt Smith in court administration. Walt certainly has spearheaded this project. In fact, I think it's actually his idea, although I will take credit for it, which I mostly do. I'm not sure Roger Fischel is here. This is also a library, but those of you who actually visited the law library where they actually had books, you know, things you could actually look at and hold. Roger, for many years, ran the law library, and he had many years of dedicated service, again, helping people navigate through the legal system. I also want to thank the Sarasota County Commission. I'm not sure any commissioners here, but certainly they've been a big help in getting this project done. And I also want to thank the lawyers and the public servants who have made this possible. And you know, one of our goals with the Self-Help Center is to get lawyers involved in helping litigants navigate this whole procedure and process. I have tasked Senior Judge Lee Haworth with that. He didn't know that until a few minutes ago, but actually I'm going to ask him to make certain that we have lawyers and other support personnel come in and help the litigants as they go through this clinic. I know that the paralegals associations here in Sarasota have agreed to help, and I know that there are lawyers that are willing and ready to assist us in this project. And Judge Haworth, who has taken the lead in almost every division and served in almost every capacity, including Chief Judge, has made it his point to make certain that people who really need the help in the system get it, whether it's through the Veterans Assistance Program that he's been involved with, the Attorney and Guardian Ad Litem program that he's involved with. So before we formally dedicate the event, I'd like Judge Haworth to say a few words.
Thank you, Chief. I've got a couple of things to say, one of which is that there's two folks here, maybe some more, who were actually on the bench at the time when we had self-help before. In the early 1990s, when I was a baby judge, we had a system whereby members of the public could come in and actually talk to a human being about their cases in family law. We lost the funding for that, and so it's been a dry period between that time and today when we have renewed the interest and the mission of the judiciary to help provide services to people who need access to the law. And the judiciary and the legal profession have been engaged in a partnership for many decades, and there's two parts to it. First is to allow access to everyone to the legal principles and to the statutes and the Constitution of our state. The second is for we, the judges and the magistrates in the judicial area, to make our rulings understandable so that it's not a lightning bolt coming from Mount Olympus with an opinion. It's to explain to people why we've done things, because the law is engaged in logic and reasoning we want to do, and make sure people understand why we do what we do. But the important factor, and what we're doing here today, is providing access so that a person can come in and actually get online and do legal research using FastCase, which is the Bar Association's easy-to-use research facility. We will also give them access to certain legal treatises that they may need to do. We can't give legal advice, but we can point them to the right forums and let them get started in that way. So that's been a concern of the courts and the bar for many years. And as to the second part, where I've just been designated to help with this, let me say that we are blessed in this county with a bar association that is very much committed to fulfilling the lawyer's oath to help people that don't have lawyers and can't afford lawyers. A lot of folks have such strenuous circumstances economically that they have to be pretty much on their own when they come to court. This facility that we're giving to the public today is going to be one of the things that will help level the playing field for those folks. And I see we have our distinguished president of the Sarasota County Bar, Nancy Kaysen, here today. So Nancy, I'm telling you that we will be making the outreach to the members of our bar. In the past, anytime we've asked for help with veterans, for help with children, for help with the disabled or the folks who need guardians, the bar has come forward. And so we're going to, and I know Nancy is very good about inspiring people to get involved. So I'll be talking to her. Hunter Carroll, Judge Carroll, who is the chair of the Pro Bono Advisory Committee for the 12th Circuit, will also be engaged, and the members of that committee will be asked to develop ways to increase this accessibility to the general public. One of the things I'm really interested in is see if we can get the social media, the internet, and the electronic advantages that we have now in our community plugged into the system. Look forward to doing that. And thank you all for coming out and turning out for this event. It's going to be super. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Judge Haworth. Also, after the unveiling, if you would like to take a view inside, we actually have, I think, some refreshments and some cookies, so I would encourage you to do that. So, what I would like you to do at this point is if you could get in a position where you can view the unveiling, the official unveiling of our self-help clinic, I will ask our staff. Now, they're a little nervous. Some of them haven't done this before. But at this time, I would like to officially dedicate our self-help clinic and law libraries. So if you will just take a look. And because we wanted Judge Haworth to be invested in this, we could think of no better honor than to name this after him. So, Judge Haworth, I'm just going to ask you to come forward just for about 30 seconds, just for some final comments.
I had no idea. Thank you for this. So, it better work.
That is why we put your name on it, so that we would ensure its success. So if you just say a couple of words, and then we'll let people go in and take a look.
I was curious why they were here. I think I know now. So thank you guys for showing up.
Yeah, because we get to see a library.
You do get to see a library, and they love libraries. They spend a lot of time in them. They read a lot of books, and they'll still allow them in most libraries. In any event, this was obviously a surprise. I've been blessed with having an opportunity to work for the Chief Judge in many capacities. You know, being a circuit judge, and especially being a chief in these difficult times, you take special people to do it, and Judge Williams is one of those who's done that and weathered many storms. And we've been blessed with having a good number of judges who can serve as the Chief Judge, but there's been nobody who's been more outstanding than Charles Williams, so thank you, Charles. And we have the best court administrator in the state with Walt Smith. And I'd say that even if they didn't name this after me. So thank you. It's quite an honor.
All right, thank you very much, and thanks for coming.
Well, I'm just going to have to come down and use it now that it's named after me, and I have my grandkids here. Hopefully someday they'll be able to come in and use it also. Yeah, okay. In any event, it was a very humbling experience, complete surprise, and I can't thank the court administration and Judge Williams and Walt Smith for this honor. It's been amazing, and never thought I'd see the day, but hopefully this will be a valuable contribution to the bar's work here and the judiciary's work, and I think it's a great way for us to express our ability to help folks that don't have lawyers, that need to get free legal advice, can come here and get it done. So thank you.
It was really a pleasure to see Judge Haworth honored. He's been a wonderful, outstanding chief judge, and then also retired judge that's very active, so he's always taken a big interest in children. I got to work with him through the foreclosure crisis, so he's one of those all-in judges, so to see this named after him is really, really an honor, and it's a great thing for the Bar Association and the community as well. I think it's pretty important because, you know, there's a lot of dissolution of marriage cases that don't necessarily need attorneys on both sides, and the parties can work things out in relatively simple manners in some cases. So this is a great resource to have. It alleviates the burden on the court, and it also gives people somewhere to go where they can talk to a real person and ask questions about the system so they can understand the system they're working in. They need a lawyer, and if there's some way they don't need a lawyer, then they can go ahead and use the self-help center, and there's somebody there that can walk them through the process. So it's great. Awesome. Oh, he brings the best qualities and characters to the courtroom. He's patient, he's understanding, and he works hard. He always, no matter what, was a very, very active judge. He got involved in legislative efforts with foreclosures. So he's the kind of judge that goes above and beyond the normal call of duty for judges, and especially now that he's a senior judge, then he can really dedicate more time to his passions, and children is one of them. So this is just so touching that it got named after him, and I'm glad you guys kept it a surprise. I don't know how you pulled that one off, so good work there.
Well, there's no one who has taken a greater role in helping litigants navigate their way through the legal system than Judge Haworth. He has also been a force in getting lawyers to volunteer for services to help people who really need help in navigating the system. He came up on his own with a program to help veterans who needed legal assistance. He also came up on his own with a program to help those who are most vulnerable with legal assistance in setting up a voluntary attorney ad litem program for our youngest litigants, those who are victims, unfortunately, of the court system. He's a Sarasota native. He's a senior judge. He's dedicated his entire life to the betterment of the legal community here in Sarasota. So we couldn't think of any better person to dedicate this center to. It was not easy. I had to cajole him into saying a few words. Obviously, he wondered, why would I need to say a few words? Why don't you just say a few words? I think he got a little bit suspicious when he saw his family here, but even that didn't tip him off, and it looks as though he was genuinely surprised and honored by the notice.